dad was inside when it was locked down, so his dad's body is in this building. And so he knows he has to break into this building to figure out what's going on in the community. He also knows that his dad is inside, and that he's going to figure out what's going on in the community. He also has to face his dad and that loss. And so this is him just outside of the facility figuring out if he's going to go inside or not. And so, and it's the last little thing I'm going to read you. It's just a 2 pages long. And then we'll have, I think, about 10 minutes for questions, which is perfect. So, okay. So this chapter is called Kiddo. It doesn't give anything away, so because there's a lot of mysteries that are at play here. Cole peered out from the edge of Blackwood Forest towards the research facility. After a trip to the mall, Cole was appropriately dressed for a nighttime break-in. He found a black toque that said Native Pride on it, a black hoodie with a wolf design, not a coyote, most importantly. Coyote is like his tormentor and also his guide throughout the whole book. So he will never wear Coyote because Coyote wants him to wear Coyote. It's like, we're Team Coyote. Anyway, so he doesn't wear it. And thick black long johns, which Cole had been assured weren't yoga pants. He'd been hiding in his hiding spot, or he'd been in his hiding spot for several minutes trying to figure out the best way to get in. The entire building was surrounded by an electric fence, and there were guards at each gate, as well as one at the front, pacing from one end of the fence to the other. He'd settled on testing out whether he could jump over the fence or not, estimating that it was 10 feet high. By now, he should have perfected the timing. When to run out in the open so the guard wouldn't see him, and where to take off from so he had the best chance to clear the fence. But instead, he was staring at a park bench on the other side of the fence. Dad, 7-year-old Cole said, sitting across from his father and beside his mother on that same park bench. Yes, Cole. His dad put down a sandwich, wiped a bit of peanut butter from his chin with one of the napkins Cole's mom had brought. Why do you have to go to work? Cole asked. Mimicking his dad, he put down his half-eaten apple and wiped at his mouth, only Cole wiped at his mouth with his sleeve. His dad tossed the napkin into the brown paper bag with the rest of their lunchtime garbage, empty sandwich bags, apple cores, and used napkins. His dad pointed at the apple Cole had put down. Part of the core was visible. White parts at the edge of Cole's teeth marks were already browning. Do you see that apple, son? Yeah, of course he did. It was right in front of him. Well, I have to work so I can buy you things like that apple, his dad said. Out here, those things are expensive. If I want you to eat, I have to be able to afford it. That's how things work. Cole rested his cheek on his fist and he stared at that apple core, counting the seeds he could see, 1 and 2. Cole counts a lot to distract himself from anxiety, so he's counting apple seeds here. Finally, he looked up. So you work so you can buy us vegetables and fruit, he asked. Cole's mom laughed. His dad laughed too. They looked at each other, and then his dad, I'm afraid this is going to tip over on me. His dad looked at him. Yeah, so I can buy us fruits and vegetables, the ones that we can't grow in the garden. Satisfied with his dad's response, Cole picked up the apple and took a big bite out of it. He could taste the apple now, sitting in the darkness, staring at the park bench, old and broken and covered in peeling paint. He could taste it on his lips as the juice curved over his bottom lip and ran down his chin. He could taste it on his tongue, its sweetness. He could feel the seed that he'd accidentally taken in his mouth, and he could remember picking it out from the back of his throat and throwing it on the ground. He had stared at it there and asked his dad, "Can we just bury that seed and grow an apple tree, and then he wouldn't have to work anymore?" His dad had smiled at him, at his inquisitiveness, and looked like he wanted to say something. And Cole had an idea of what that something might be now. The impossibility of what little Cole had wanted that apple seed to do. But his dad had just ruffled his hair and said, "Sorry, kiddo." And that was the last time he saw his father. That night his mother came into his room, interrupting a sneaky late-night comic book reading session. "Cole," she sat down on his bed. "What is it, Mommy?" he asked. She gathered him up into her arms and squeezed him. "Your father, Cole, he died today." Cole looked past the park bench at the building. He pictured himself inside after jumping the fence and breaking the lock of the front door. He was good at breaking locks and door handles. And seeing his dad's body, maybe sitting in a chair, maybe sprawled out on the floor, having desperately tried to get out, get away, save himself, save others. The lady he had died with, her body would be there too. At least, Cole thought, his dad wasn't alone. Lying there, just a corpse covered in clothes he had been wearing that day. Beige dress pants, white sneakers, striped t-shirt, and lab coat. His hair might even still be there, messed but still looking good. Like it had been messed intentionally. But Cole knew that his dad just got up and left in the morning after feeding him breakfast, and that's just how his hair looked. Asleep or awake, or dead. Sorry, kiddo.